I'm Ellen Adams for About.com. I'm going to show you how to make bread and butter pickles. And what you want to do is cut the ends off, and then you're going to want to cut your pickles into about 1/8 of an inch slice. And whenever you get pickles on a sandwich or pickles out of a jar, you remember they're pretty thin. So that's what you want, about 1/8 of an inch. Once you get your 4 pounds of cucumbers cut, you're going to want to add 1/3 cup of kosher salt. And now you're going to want to add your onion, and I've got this into little quarters, probably about 1/4 of an inch. The next step is to add 4 to 6 cups of ice right on top of your cucumbers, your salt, and your onions. And you're going to want to cover these and put them in the fridge for at least 4 hours. You can do it overnight. That's totally fine too. One really important aspect when you're canning is to make sure your jars are sterilized. It's really simple to do. You just take off the lids. Now this is the 2-part lid. They come apart, and I'm going to take the lids and I'm going to put them in a pot on my stove that's got water in it, and I'm going to boil them. And then my glass jars, these are going to go into some water on my stove as well, and you're going to want to put in enough water to totally cover the glass jars by a good inch, and you're going to boil it, and that's going to sterilize your jars. All right, so I've taken our cucumbers and I've taken them out of the fridge and totally drained them and gave them a quick rinse to get any of that extra salt off. Now to make our pickling brine, I have 3 cups of cider vinegar. Next step is to add 1½ cups of sugar. I've got 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. I need 1/2 teaspoon of celery seed and 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard seed. The next step is to put this on your cooktop and bring it to a boil. Our cucumbers have boiled. Now the next step is take a slotted spoon, and you got your sterilized jar, and just go into your hot cucumbers and onions and try and pack them in there as best you can. And you don't have to push them down very hard. All right, now I'm going to add my brine. So take a ladle and just put it in your pot and fill it with the brine. We'll just dump it in like that. And you want to go about 1/2 an inch from the top of the jar. The next step that's really important is to make sure the rim of the glass jar is totally dry. So if any of the brine has spilled on there, you want to wipe it down with a paper towel. The final step is to add our sterilized lids and just hand turn them down. You don't have to turn them, very tight, but tight enough. And now you're going to put this in your canning pot, and you're going to fill it with enough water to totally cover the jars by about a good inch, and turn them on to boil for about 15 minutes. Bring them out, set them on your cutting board or your counter, let them cool, and you can put them in your pantry, and in about 6 weeks you're going to have some delicious bread and butter pickles. For more recipes like this, check out About.com.